to the legions. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bienvenidos. Welcome. Come on in to the What You've Been Watching podcast, hosted by me, the marvelous Mike Dudley, and co-hosted
the multilingual Mike Dudley on that one. It is your boy MD3, Marcus Dudley, checking in on you. What's going on out there in podcast land, folks? Top of the cap to you. Raise up the glass. How you doing there, brother?
I'm good, man. It's been a long week. Been playing injured, so I'm ready to be off the injured reserve list and back in action.
Doctor said you need a backiotomy.
I do need a backiotomy. My whole everything is fucked up.
Yeah, you can go ahead and scratch that one on your bingo card, nice and early. Marcus makes a past ladies man or half baked reference. They're coming. Anyways, so what you been watching, my guy? That's the $1 million question. That's what everybody wants to know. What you been watching?
What have I been watching? Once again, always with the BSG, trying to keep up on that. But,
Battlestar Galactic Cats.
Yeah. But kind of tapered off that. Just part of ADHD is I obsess about things and then taper off of them, and I'm sort of reaching that point with that. So, got into Westworld in order to try and satisfy my sci-fi itch, and
never seen a single episode. Hit me with it though.
So basically, it's a reboot, reimagining of the classic Michael Crichton novel, and of course there was the movie that came out in, I want to say like 78, 79 maybe, of Westworld. Basically, it's a theme park with animatronic robots that are supposed to be so lifelike that you can't tell the difference. And as with all things in Michael Crichton novels, science goes awry, and the animatronic robots start to revolt and start to kill guests one by one. So, yeah, starring who was the main bad guy? Oh, Yul Brynner.
Oh wow, the movie you're talking about?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Yul Brynner from the original. In this one, it's Evan Rachel Wood, Jeffrey Wright,
Tandy Newton,
Tandy Newton, however you pronounce that. Anthony Hopkins plays the park creator, sort of the Walt Disney sort of esque figure, if you will. Ed Harris is deliciously evil in this.
He's such a good character, like villain. Like he's so
great.
good.
He's great.
He's a good actor, period. But
yeah. Watch A History of Violence for another really great Ed Harris villain. Yeah. It's really good. They seem to be playing around with multiple storylines happening at the same time, and it's very obvious that they're either duplicate characters or they're playing around with time, and I'm not real sure what is what, because there's certain scenes. So like Dolores is the Evan Rachel Wood character, and she's the perennial damsel in distress. She's the farmer's daughter who's always getting kidnapped and getting shot down, and people who go to the park can basically make these decisions whether they want to rescue her or do unspeakable horrors to her, or like the park is all about choices and getting to live, your white hat or black hat life, and sort of where you go with that. And so she's been continually, had bad stuff happen to her, continually met really interesting people, but then they always reset it every like 24 or 48 hours, whatever. So she's constantly living all these different lives, whatever. So she's sort of the main protagonist in terms of we learn about the park through her.
Through her eyes? Okay,
right,
I got you.
Right. But there's scenes that happen that she's out on a mission with one of the park guests, and then in another scene immediately following, she's locked up and in isolation and quarantine, and they can't happen immediately after another. So it's very obvious that either there are multiple Doloreses, or we're playing around with different timelines, and sort of this storyline is happening first and this one's happening second. But they're not clear on what's what, and I'm sort of reaching the point now where I need somebody to come down and explain exactly where I am in the story. Like,
right.
they've built up enough intrigue and enough mystery.
They just keep raising questions, and eventually you're like, I need a couple of these answered.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I feel you.
They'll give you the briefest hint of an answer, and then that invariably leads to an even bigger question.
Yeah.
And so there's a certain point where you're just like, all right, I need to know where I am in this story. Like, what's my role here? Who am I rooting for? Who am I not rooting for? How does this exactly tie into this?
Stop playing with my emotions, ultimately.
Yeah, exactly. And they haven't done it yet, but I think I'm all but 3 episodes into the first season, and I'm willing to at least give it the first season to have some of those questions answered. And then, depending on where they go from that, I may or may not join on for more. But
okay, yeah, I've heard the first. I mean, this is just from like 2 people that I spoke to. I have no. It's one of those shows that like I think I would really get into. There's just so much content. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much stuff. Like, there's tons of shows. I'm like, oh, I bet I would love that. Like Breaking Bad, I'm sure I would love it.
Sure, yeah,
you know, I'm sure I would love Game of Thrones. Never seen a single episode. I just never. There's just so much stuff, and then it becomes so much to like get into that I'm just like, man, like it's an investment. And I just want to watch cartoons while I fall asleep.
That's the problem.
Like, yeah, I just don't. I need something nonsense while I fall asleep, because I've learned that if I put anything interesting on, I just stay up and watch it. If it's an episode of anything that I've seen before, like I had Bar Rescue on the other night, and I was just like, I need to know what happened.
Shutting it down.
Yep. So
I love the formula of that show. Like, has just evolved into John Taffer walks in to save a bar, finds some bullshit, threatens to walk out, go to commercial, come back from commercial. I'm coming back to save the bar, but not for you. It's for them.
Yeah,
and he's like pointing to the employees or whatever, and then like saves the bar. The employee or the owner is like, I don't know if I like all this, and Taffer's like, this is the way we're gonna do it. Come back, and all the employees are like, yeah, this is the way we're gonna do it for sure.
Yeah,
like
it's cut just commercial. Okay, we got you a new bar. We've renovated it. Turn around in 3, 2, 1 commercial.
Right. And then we see like all the patrons are like, this is the best experience we've ever had, and we love the food and blah 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 blah.
Man, I'll tell you what, the early seasons of Bar Rescue, he would snap off on people, John Taffer. In the more recent ones, he's really mellowed out, and it's not him just like berating people and being like, you're a fucking idiot, and da-da-da-da-da, like, which the people needed to hear because they were acting that way.
Sure.
And it also made for compelling television, but like he's really mellowed out, and it's the formula is very much so the same, which, whatever, he's hit the point of, you know, the tipping point, so he can coast now. But bro, crazy thing, I didn't know this, he was the let's say his background, John Taffer, is in the...
He's the BTK killer?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, right.
No, but he's his background is in hospitality. You know, he was the one that marketed and came up with the NFL Sunday Ticket. He sold it to the NFL Network for like $14 million. Out
of here.
Some ridiculous amount of money.
Wait, so he just came up with, oh no, we're just going to offer every game ever as long as you're paying the
Sunday
premium.
ticket, yeah.
Wow, that's so simplistic and genius, and then like to know that it's him.
And he marketed it, yeah.
Wow, that's funny. That's
so
pretty interesting.
He's legit. Like, he's got bank, bro. So.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but no, I had no idea. I Googled him. I was like, wait, what? NFL Sunday Ticket. Anyways, far deviation, yeah. Westworld. That's the reason I don't watch it, is just because I know that if I start, I'm going to want to get into it too much.
Oh, yeah.
There's just it
is definitely not a show that you can watch, like, casually, like, while it's on in the background.
Yeah.
Like, it's so visually interesting, and like they actually shot it like in the American Southwest and stuff like that for the most part, you know, like 75-80% of it. Like, obviously there's a bunch of like
movie magic,
but I mean visually it's so entertaining and so gripping. Just some of the shots are just these beautiful, like very classic Western style, and then you blend in, you know, this futuristic technology where they're building androids in the matter of like, I think they said like 30 minutes or something like that, and reprogramming people, and certain androids get new superpowers based on what their programming is. And
wow.
Yeah. It's this really, it's very interesting to watch and sort of see the character development. But that being said, again, they keep playing around with, well, now we're turning it into this, and now we're turning into that, and I just sort of need some sort of connective thread, to sort of show me, like, to like orient me as far as like, here's where I was, here's what I've seen, here's where I am now, and now I understand how they all tie together.
I gotcha. I got you. So you're yearning for that part.
Yeah, yeah. And after I think the first season is like 10 or 11 episodes. I'm on like episode 8.
They might.
It's about time that they started giving me that.
Yeah, I brought it up earlier. Then I got talking about Bar Rescue. But like of the 2 or 3 people I know that have watched the show entirely, they had said that season 1 finishes super strong. And then again, this is just their opinion. So you might come back to me like, "Fuck your friends." And I heard season 2 kind of fell off, and I think they're on 3 now, right?
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, I think they said that 3 kind of came back with a little bit better stuff. So I hope it wraps it up for you, man. Because I hate when I get into a show and I'm like, "That's it. That's your big fucking reveal." Like,
right.
Ugh.
I invested 10 hours in this motherfucker.
I'll never get that shit back. Most finite resource on the planet.
Looking forward to Sandman, that being said.
Shit, yeah, I gotta get in that. That just came out. It's getting all the reviews.
Speaking of stuff I'm going to have to dedicate time and effort to. Like, there's no way that I could just, like, go watch Sandman and then be like, let me just cruise the internet for a minute and go watch fail videos.
That actually might be what you need after that. Get your head messed with and then just clean the palate.
Yeah, what else did I see? Recently saw the new Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe movie.
Shout out to our free Paramount Plus trial subscription. Yeah, I watched it with you.
It was good. So can we just talk about how good that movie was and how it just scratched that nostalgia itch?
I fucking loved that movie.
Yeah.
Me and you both laughed out loud at several points. So
it is very much in the 90s toilet humor genre. So if that holds appeal for you, you're going to love this. If that's not necessarily your jam, probably don't want that on your toast. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I thought it was a great continuation of bringing Beavis and Butthead into the new millennium. Last time we saw them was Beavis and Butthead Do America came out in like 2000 and maybe 2000, 99 maybe.
Remember. Let me Google that. You keep talking, but I'll Google
that. But yeah, so long story short, Beavis and Butthead con their way into the space program and get shunted through time. And
96, by the way.
Was it 96?
96, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Anyways, keep going.
So they are shunted through time and into the modern age, and it's just sort of them picking up right where they left off because they're too stupid to understand the difference.
Pretty much. It doesn't... Their world around them is so small because the reason they got into the space program is they caused a fire at school by kicking Beavis in the nuts repeatedly. And then it's like... Instead of... The science fair was only going on so they could figure out whoever won it was going to go to the science space camp at NASA.
Yeah.
And the judge was just like, okay, well, we could send somebody who's probably going to go to college anyways to this NASA camp, or we could send these guys and maybe change your life around. And ultimately, what it boils down to is there's a hot female astronaut, and she says something about them scoring or something like that, which is the basis of about every single episode is the request to score.
Grossly misinterpret her very, very innocent questions as far as like, I think she wants to do it, Beavis.
Yes. It's
finally going to happen.
It's finally.
We're going to do it in space.
Yeah. That was good.
And so the cosmic dance continues.
Yes, sir. What does he say? The cosmic dance of seduction continues. Your little game of seduction continues. That's what he said. Yeah, dude. And so, they end up in a wormhole and in today's time, and then it's just them trying to score while calamity goes on around them. I loved it. You don't need to know any more of the plot details than that. It's just them going while the government pursues them because they think they're aliens, and it doesn't matter. But it's just them being dumb for 90 minutes straight.
Oh, yeah. It's them completely failing at every aspect of modern life.
Yes. Yes.
For better or worse, it's almost so one note that the premise wears thin and then it comes right back around and becomes funny again.
And then they get out.
It's almost in the same vein of like Jackass, you know what I mean? Like it's very one note. It's the same
beat. Yeah.
Same beat over and over and over again. But if you're into it, it's the greatest thing ever because they just hammer the goddamn joke home.
Yep. I'll say this though, man. Mike Judge has gotten better at doing Beavis and Butthead, and I don't mean that like mean. It's he seems so comfortable doing it. Like he's been with these characters for so long, like 30 years now. Gotta be.
Yeah.
And close to 30 years, whatever it is,
Well, no, I mean, Beavis and Butthead came out in what, like 92, 93,
yeah,
maybe?
Something like that, yeah. I was in kindergarten or first grade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was, close to 30 years. But he's been doing it for that long, and if you go back and watch the original episodes and, what he's doing now, it's just, you can tell it's so natural.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole movie exists to reboot the series on Paramount Plus that they're doing, which is fine, which is brilliant.
That's a great marketing strategy. Like, if you have a couple million to spend on something that you're gonna invest in anyway, why not? Like, you've already got Mike Judge on board, you've already got all the animators on board. Just be like, all right, cool, we're gonna break off a couple, 10 to 20 million and break this in, and let's just do it. Why not?
Yeah. Now, Andreas, there's actually some good. I mean, obviously, Gary Cole is on there. He knows Mike Judge through the connection of Office Space. He was Lumbergh. Andrea Savage was.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good underrated performance. I think we have a second one, but
okay.
Gary Cole in about everything.
Yeah.
He's in Pineapple Express. He's the dad in Talladega Nights. He's Lumbergh in Office Space.
That's right.
He does some voice acting.
Well, hell, Ricky, I was drunk when I said that. Yeah. I could have said anything.
You could be first. You could be second. You could be third. Hell, you could be last. He's like, I'm based my whole life on that. Yeah. He gets kicked out of Applebee's. He rules. But yeah, no, he's in the movie. Andrea Savage is in the movie. There's just a couple cameos that show up here and there. Nat Faxon, who was the voice of Elfo on Disenchanted.
Oh, nice.
Disenchantment. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a couple people in there, and it's mostly just Mike Judge as Beavis and Butthead going ho 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 a lot. But he's gotten so good at it. Like, it's to the point now where he can do Beavis and Butthead as Beavis and Butthead.
Talking to themselves.
Yeah, or doing an impression of somebody in their voice. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Right. Like, it's one thing to do an impression of Sean Connery. It's another thing to do an impression of Sean Connery pretending to be like Ginger Rogers or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's this whole other level of improvisation.
Yeah, and he's super comfortable doing it now. You can tell. So, but no, I dug it, man. I'm glad the boys are back. I've already watched the first 2 new episodes. I dug the shit out of them. It's a lot of fun, man.
So. In the new episodes, like, obviously they're not doing music videos anymore because that's not a thing.
They still do. They still do music videos. It's a lot of TikToks and...
But it's TikTok, so now it's more based in the millennial age in terms of TikToks and Vines and YouTube videos and stuff like that.
It's that, but it's also... there's one where they watch an ASMR video, and it's really, really funny if you haven't seen it. It's all...
We're going to talk from now on, people.
It's really funny. And they still do music videos and stuff, but it's not as prevalent. But, I mean... There's tons of people that drop music videos on YouTube and stuff to try to come up.
Sure.
So. But yeah, no, it's still really entertaining though. I dig it a lot, man.
Yeah. It's the lowest brow of comedy, but it's done so well, and especially like for somebody like you and me who have the nostalgia factor of like, finally we get to see a new Beavis and Butthead, and it's been just long enough to where like I'm not mad that they're rebooting it.
No. I mean, there's some, especially nowadays, like they were one of the original ones. I mean, like Talk Soup is what made it popular back in the day, when it would just take clips from talk shows and stuff like that. And then it was Tosh.0, and then it was Ridiculousness, and then there was a million of the other shows
like
right now.
Talk Soup was so avant-garde and so ahead of its time that like I don't think a lot of people understood how to like process that, where it was just like, oh, they're just reviewing internet videos, like,
or like the weekend of TV. It was like, oh, on Jerry Springer this happened. Oh, on this reality show this happened.
Yeah.
And it was so ahead of its time. But Beavis and Butthead was too, in that sense of
for sure.
They were sitting there making commentary videos decades before anybody knew what a fucking commentary video was.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, watching Peekaboo from Sue and the Banshees, and they're sitting there making fun of it. It's like, that's exactly what it's in now. Yeah. No, Peekaboo. But, yeah, that was a bad Beavis, but either way.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm going to tell you this one time, butthead. If you change the channel, I'm going to kick your ass.
Exactly. But no, I mean, they were doing it decades before, though, man. And so, like, why wouldn't they come back to make commentary on shit now in the only way that they can? So like,
it's almost this perfect...
Respect the crown as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. It's almost this perfect storm of timing and entertainment being where it is in terms of, like, the MTV generation just so generated by, like... We're so enthralled by, like, what's next? What's the next thing I gotta see? What's the next thing I gotta see? Just consume. And then to take that and move it now into the digital age where everything is consumable.
Yep.
Like, of course. Like this is great time for Beavis and Butthead to do amazing work, and I can't wait to see.
I'm on board. All right, so cool. We've scratched that itch. Beavis and Butthead. What's the review of the movie? And just the reboot as a whole.
I'm going to give it 16 fires. Fire.
Nice. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't even need a review. You got it. Okay, cool. Let's see. What else been going on here? Oh, Miss Marvel. I finally finished it, by the way.
What'd you think? Okay. I've been sitting on this one for a minute.
Man, I actually really dug it, man.
Yeah.
Like, for exactly, like... Again, I don't necessarily know if I'm the target audience or not.
Sure.
But, like, I think it was when I last looked. It's the highest reviewed or highest rated show on Rotten Tomatoes, Marvel show. Let me just try that again. It's the highest rated Marvel show on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Which I don't know if I necessarily agree with, but I'm not mad at. I'm not, like, looking at that going like, oh my god, this other show was so much better. It's really consistent. It knows what it is. It's very
for the most part.
Yeah.
I think there's a few areas where it kind of waffles and wavers, but for the most part, they do have a very clear, concise view of the show that they are trying to make.
Yeah, and I really bought that. The actress playing what's her name? The actress playing Miss Marvel was Kamala Khan.
Oh yeah,
like she was having a blast, and she really carries it. Her friend Bruno was awesome. The bad guys, once again, was kind of but who cares? I mean, it's still very formulaic Marvel TV show in the fact that they don't really answer a lot of things until about episode 4.
Right.
But it's so light up to that point that I'm not like, God, man, this is like... It's not like heavy-hitting questions that I need to answer
No. It's very John Hughes. It's very... It's very much a teenager coming-of-age story. And then you add the layers of, like, you know, she's from an immigrant family and she's from a very religious family, and there's questions of her own, I don't want to say sexuality, but, like, her understanding, like, her own maturity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I got it. It's coming of age, a lot of questions being asked. And
then you add the whole, you know, high school drama of it all in terms of, like, all I want to do is just fit in at high school, and yet here I am with these powers. It's very reminiscent of, like, the early Spider-Man stories, which is why I think it works so well and why it's resonating so well with the younger market, because it's just taking all the highlights of Peter Parker of, you know, just being like, I just want to get a date to the homecoming dance, but I gotta go fight the Vulture, or like, oh, I promised Mary Jane I would pick her up for my date by 8 o'clock, and yet here Mysterio is at 7:55 robbing a bank. What am I supposed to do?
She goes to her brother's wedding and ruins it because, you know, bad guys show up.
Right,
and stuff
shenanigans happen. Right.
I mean, so yeah, very much so in the same vein what you were saying. It's like, take out Mary Jane for X event, family event, and it's like, the one thing I really liked, and maybe it's because I'm older now, but, like, I like how the mom, her mother, Kamala's mother, like, she's not such a tyrant that you're just like, God, she's just mean for the sake of being mean. She seemed really well-rounded, and, like, you could really feel that she loves her daughter. And while Kamala is very much so like, well, you're just a mean mom and you don't let me do anything, and it's just like, she's really not some tyrant, and I feel like that trope is so played out in the sense of just like, well, she's just Cinderella to this cruel mistress of a mom, and her mom was actually pretty cool, all things considered. Like, you're however old, like you're not running around New York at night going to this, and she doesn't understand, but she's trying to. And even in the end, what really got me at the end was her mom gave her the suit. And her dad gave her the name Miss Marvel, which I just thought was wonderful. Like a nice little thing at the end that was just like, oh man, how beautiful. Like it really is a family story. So,
and that's one of the recurring themes throughout the entire show is sort of like the things that we inherit from our parents and from like, in a weird way, it's almost about generational trauma.
Yeah.
And about sort of the heritage that is passed down to us and what we do with that. And even more than that, I don't think she necessarily addressed what to do about that, but just sort of processing it and understanding what it is that makes her who she is. From, again, from the religious aspect, from the immigrant standpoint, from the now I'm a I'm a mutant. So yeah, it's a journey of self-discovery and learning your place in the world, but it tackles it from a very, I don't want to say optimistic. I'll say optimistic. It's very, like I said, it's very John Hughes, very upbeat teenager, like I can do anything kind of, but not in a hokey or like cliched kind of way. Like it definitely earns it.
Yeah, it does. It does. And she works hard to get there, and it's through her friends and stuff like that. But something I completely dug, and it's something about that I miss that comic books do. As you know, like the X-Men is very much so an allegory to any oppressed group, whether it be gay people or black people back in the day. Mm-hmm. It's kind of just like an analogy for the struggles that they are and the people. But one thing I liked about this is it brought me back to formal comic book glory. Is I knew nothing about the partition in India. And this show,
the separation between the Muslim Pakistan and the Hindu India.
And then Bangladesh, what became East Pakistan and stuff like that. I mean, I had kind of like heard of it. I knew that that's why Pakistan existed,
right?
But I never really knew what was up. And then like learning about it since then, of like, oh, everybody has these terrible partition stories and stuff like that. I really liked that. I got some a meal out of something that I wasn't expecting, and it kind of was like, oh shit, like. And also, whoever the grandmother was, the great grandmother Aisha was, more of whoever that actress is. I was like, gosh, she is beautiful, stunning. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh.
It's so weird because a little bit of a spoiler here, but there's the episode where Kamala time travels back to partition days and saves her own grandmother from getting left behind in India. It's this whole like time travel, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff.
Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. Look that up in the dictionary.
But I actually really enjoyed that episode more than I did most of the other, like, sort of teenager CW-driven shows or episodes. Because to me, that one really tackled something very real and very prominent in the main character's history, and sort of like, again, it talks about bring that generational trauma down of it's all the stories that you grew up hearing about, from your mom, about your grandmother, about your great grandmother, about what life was like before the event. So it's one of my favorite episodes, and it's so dissonant from anything else that happens in the entire show.
It's the love story of her great grandmother and great grandfather.
Yes,
and it was really it's a really good love story.
Right,
like, it just is.
Right.
So about she is not of this earth, and he is also, and it's an analogy because she was a migrant coming through his village, and it's like they're supposed to be burning these homes down and stuff like this, and so it's also like I can love you not just through your religious differences or whatever your village's thing is, but also like you're not of this earth,
right?
And so I can love you through that too, and it's kind of beautiful when you think about it that way. And it did the thing where it wrapped the if this is a dog analogy, it wrapped whatever the medicine was in cheese.
Yes.
And fed it to me. And I was like, oh shit, that's
right.
well done.
Yeah,
I did not expect that out of what the show had been this far, which was still entertaining, but again, very
but again, it was very much a high school teen drama, and sort of that episode brings in this whole other aspect that I thought was really great.
Yeah.
Not to say that the rest of the series isn't good, but that particular episode really stood out to me.
Yeah, really good episode.
And really stood
Marvel
out.
TV.
Some of the if I had to naysay it at all, I think it falls into the horrible Marvel trope of the villains are just absolutely forgettable, and
they were done by episode 4.
Very wishy-washy in their wants and needs and drives. The villains only seem to be driven by whatever the opposite of what Kamala wants.
Yeah. And then it pivots on the last 2 episodes, and it becomes
this whole other
damage
thing.
control.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay.
Right.
Which I do appreciate the fact they did touch on it really well, where like damage control goes into a mosque, and like everyone already has their IDs ready.
And by the way, damage control is sort of the government institution that deals with superheroes and
cleaning up and
yeah. So if Hulk and Thor get into a fight in the middle of downtown Manhattan, damage control is the people that come and clear it up and investigate the whys and wherefores as to like, well, why did they fight?
Yeah. And so, that's the government agency that ends up pursuing them by episode 4. And it kind of pivots, and it's fine, but it's just kind of like, again, we had 4 episodes of this, and then we have that event where it shows the love story, and then it goes back to damage control, and I'm like, I don't really care at this point. But...
And at that point, the main protagonist had already dealt with like interdimensional beings who are trying to change, build a bridge between our world and theirs that may or may not blow up the entire world. And then you go to like evil government agency, and it's like, all right, that was sort of a downgrade from where we just were.
The only thing is because they're viewing it through a Pakistani, like a Muslim American. I like the fact that damage control, it showed kind of a day in the life of somebody being of that complexion. Like, hey, they come into the mosque and everyone's like, they already got their IDs ready, and they're like, they offer them cookies. They're like, look, man, like,
we've done this before, right?
Yeah,
like we're used to government agencies coming in and being like, all right, everybody show ID, and they're just like, we got it. We keep them in our pockets. We're right here. You guys want some muffins? We got muffins.
Yeah, and it's just kind of, I liked the fact that they could have taken it in like a really shitty tone, but it just kind of shows on a lot of little ways that kind of paint a much larger picture throughout the show. It's an underlying theme of like, hey, we have a superhero running around. Are you oppressing her because she's just a new superhero, or it's because a new one that happens to be
little brown skin,
Muslim or brown skin, and it's kind of like, who knows? So I dug the show on a whole. I think we've talked about that, but I would give it 3 Power Cosmics.
3 Power Cosmics. Okay.
Out of about. I'll just leave it at that. It's a good one. It's a good thing though. That's a positive review. Trust me.
Good.
So yeah, the other thing we watched. Well, Michael was kind of in and out on it. I've been on a really weird like cult kick recently. I'm fascinated by it. Like I watched the one about NXIVM a few months ago. I watched Wild Wild Country about the whatever Wild the one that was out in Oregon. And I watched a couple of them. And I watched them.
Those were the guys that tried to like give an entire town like salmonella poisoning at an Arby's or something like that, or some sort of like country buffet. Yeah,
the country kitchen buffet. Always the country kitchen. It's the heartbeat of every small community, Michael. Don't you know?
I need to get my chicken fried steak.
Yeah, exactly. No, but so I've been on a kick, and I watched one. It's called The Way Down: God, Greed, and the Cult of Gwen Shamblin.
I watched a little bit of that with you.
Bro, it's wild shit.
Yeah.
And I'm so infatuated with it. I think because like when I watch these cult stuff, it's most of the people that are like survivors or victims of whatever the cult ship was, and people that have gotten out, they're not unintelligent people. I mean, some of them may or may not be, but like on the whole, they're not some big dummy that's like, they're sharp people, and you slowly get indoctrinated to this bizarre ass way of thinking and this bizarre way of acceptance, and before you know it, you're like, what the hell is going on, and how the hell did I get here?
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man. So
That's what they say about cults is like you never realize you're in one until it's way too late.
yeah.
And so you're like, wait a minute. The minister's fucking my wife, and I'm $150,000 in debt. I'm living on a compound in a tent.
Yeah, I have a brand on me. Like, what the fuck happened here?
How did this happen?
It's crazy what happens when the human basic need for, it's in the hierarchy of needs of like social acceptance and finding like-minded people, and then you have somebody charismatic enough to change what your like-mindedness is into and give you reasons.
This is what we're into now. And you're like, yeah, this is what we're into. They back it up
with powerful thoughts and actions, and you're like, oh shit, like I'm on board. I never thought of it that way. It's crazy, man. But ultimately,
the human need for acceptance is
astonishing.
Almost to a detrimental style. Like everybody just wants to be like, I'm part of this group, right? I'm part of this group, right?
I mean, you can see it nowadays. It's like people, they want to belong to something so much that just being a person or being a this, they have to get to like these categories and subcategories. And, I'm not like ripping on anybody or anything, but it's like the fact that like, it used to just be LGBT, and then now it's LGBTQI, and it's like it just... And not saying there's anything wrong with any one of those additional letters. I'm just saying it expands to have either more inclusion or more specificity. And it's not just in that community. It's like everyone. It's like, well, no, I'm a this and a that. And
I'm an albino, dyslexic, Eskimo.
Yeah.
Demisexual, like, wait, what? That's a lot of...
Yeah, sexual communities do it too. And it's I'm a furry, but I'm not into furry sex. I'm into furry companionship, so I'm a this. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's all this category of furry, but it's like... And so when you do that, like to bring it back to like the cult thing, it's just like they just start dividing themselves, and they can exclude people because, well, now we're on this tip, and they're not on that tip, so they can go do their own thing. And that's how it got started in the first place. This chick, Gwen Shamblin, she was part of a church, and then they pretty much, I mean, it's all Christianity, Baptist based.
Sure.
But it was the Remnant Church, and they broke off because they believe that, once again, that they are the only right way, and it's all like flogging yourself. It's a lot of punishment and stuff like that.
like
just self-punishment. And it really actually started as a weight kick, like a way thing. It was called the Way Down. And it was ultimately she would believe that like this woman Gwen Shamblin was raised Southern, and so when her mom would make food, it was like, well, you clean your plate and you eat everything on it and you be grateful for that. And it kind of, I don't know if it just gave her like body images or stuff like that, and she believed that the desire for the food was like sinful, like it's gluttonous and it's this and that and the third. Right. And so it was ultimately, which kind of scared me a little bit, was a little bit of replacement therapy, because AA kind of does that too, and anybody that doesn't know, hey, there's my anonymity. Whatever.
Shh, you're not supposed to tell people, fool.
Yeah, whatever. But I'm not going to get into it too much, but it was this replacement thing where it's like whenever you feel the need for food, you ask God to remove that need, and then you won't be hungry. Right. And so people got into it because it was like they could see the results, and like, man, I don't feel hungry, I don't this, I don't that, and like they started being happier. And then once again, she got this power and she broke off into her own church, and then it just went off the fucking rails. And it was like people beating their kids to death, and that women are supposed to be subservient, and kids are like supposed to honor. You can't honor Jesus unless you honor authority figures, and you have to honor your father, mother. Yeah. Or it wasn't even Jesus, it was God. And like part of it was she became so like blasphemous to other religions just within Christianity or subsects, because she got rid of the Trinity. It was like no Holy Spirit, no Jesus, just God. And it's like, it's kind of like the basis of Christianity.
Right. So, I mean, one and the same, right? Like Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, yeah? No?
So she was doing all this crazy stuff, and it's like, to the point of like this one person came up and was like, oh my God, I have cancer. And she's like, well, God, you must be doing something wrong in your life for God to give you cancer, so let's pray on that. And it's like, what the fuck?
Fucked up. That's fucked up.
The good news is all the heads of the church, they all died in a plane crash.
Hey!
So she must have been doing something wrong, according to everything.
You know what? I'm convinced God does exist. He does want justice in this world.
Yeah. It's fascinating, man. Like, all that stuff, to me, is just not even like... Because, again, most of the people that are that get out or whatever, like the people in NXIVM that did all that, and like a lot of people that escaped the Heaven's Gate, and like even, you know, the dude in Waco, David
Koresh.
Yeah. The people that get out, they're smart people. They might be gullible, or they might be learning. They take whatever they're yearning for and they morph it into something that just happens right before their very eyes without their permission. And then they're so indoctrinated into it that they think it's normal.
I mean, I would argue. I would argue that that's probably the basis of every religion, just on a fundamental level.
Fair argument,
but without getting into it,
fair argument.
But what really kind of blows my mind is the people who don't realize that they're in it until it's like, oh no, here's your Kool-Aid, go ahead and drink up, and they're like, wait, what the fuck now? Or you know, like David Koresh all of a sudden is like, and no one else can be married but me, and no one else can procreate but me, so if you guys want to have kids, I have to fuck your wife. And like, can you imagine dedicating your entire life and like living on this dude's compound for years at a time, and then all of a sudden he's like, by the way, your wife is my wife, and you're like, wait a minute, what happened now? What the fuck? What? Like, can we back out of this? Like, oh no, you're in this. This is what's happening. By the way, the ATF is knocking down our door, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I need to call a quick timeout.
Too late, man.
Or like, you know, the what is it? The Raelians and the fucking Hale-Bopp comet, where they're like, oh, we need you to really invest in some Nike shoes, like, by next Thursday.
Yeah. Sort of, let's try to under the table eunuch stuff, and it's like, oh, that didn't work out well. Like, for real, like.
So you're telling me I gave up all of this?
Yeah, there's not a spaceship behind that comet.
This is some bullshit, man.
Dude, no, it's so interesting, man. And like I said, this woman, like, there was a story of like this one poor kid was beaten to death by his parents because that was so. Michael, you watched some of that with me.
I had to sort of break away from that one because like, it's one thing if you want to fuck up your life, but once you start fucking up your kid's life based on some ancient text or a message from God or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Because when Shamblin says that that's the way to do it, like,
that's where I start having issues. Yeah.
Shit is crazy though, man. But so I watched that. That was fascinating, and then I was still on that kick, and I watched something called Bad Vegan, and it's about this woman named Sarma Melnaganis.
Melnaganis,
MELNG Melganis. Okay. Either way.
I love that you gave up on the spelling halfway
through. Yeah, whatever. MELNGALIS. Melngalis.
Go ahead.
Anyways, so Bad Vegan is about this woman, Sarma, let's just call her. And she ran this restaurant in New York. She opened it up with the chef. That the chef was like world renowned, and she went to culinary school herself. And it was a raw vegan restaurant, and it was like the talk of the town in New York. And it was like all these big name celebrities came in, like Owen Wilson was hanging out, Alec Baldwin was hanging out, and everybody loved Sarma, and this and that and the third.
Right.
And the original chef and her kind of got into this spat, and we're kind of like, hey, I see us going different ways. So she said, okay, why don't I buy you out of the restaurant? So she did, and lo and behold, enters this guy that she met online, this dude. He called himself Shane Fox. Turns out was not his name whatsoever.
Oh, Shane Fox was not his real name?
Exactly. Or Shane, Mr. Fox.
Spelled with 4 X's.
Exactly. And so she met this guy, and his name was Anthony Strangis. And this guy took her on a freaking ride, man. Like, and he was always into some super, like, she thought that he would talk to all this shit, like he was like Black Ops and all this stuff, and retired
like super secret.
Yeah, and was taking all these mysterious things and would like get money and then like kind of floss in front of her for a minute. And he's like, you know, this chick Sarma's like, well, what's going on here? And he ended up painting this whole web of lies about like, there's this family that's overlooking everything and they're the one that's in control, and that they have all the power.
Really?
And that she at some point
like a Rothschilds kind of thing, or in terms of
and the family's overlooking everything, and that they're gonna put her through all these tests, but they're gonna reward her infinitely in the end, whatever money and everything that she might. And she had this dog that she loved named Leon, and they promised the dog immortality and stuff like that.
Okay, stop.
Oh, it gets wild.
At that point, you're not sitting there being like, I'm sorry, the dog gets immortality, but I gotta die at 95. So
No, she did too, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's...
I'm just saying, like, at some point when you start offering the dog immortality, I have questions.
No, I do too. And then I saw the dog, and it was adorable. It reminded me of Angie and I's dog, PupPup. And I was like, I might do some wild shit. But the point, like...
I'm gonna live forever.
Yeah, I live forever. I get in the car and I live forever.
I live forever.
But yeah, no, so he was doing all the super secretive shit. And where it goes wrong is that he was promising her, like, I'm going to put you through all these tests, and then in the end, you're going to be rewarded more than you could ever imagine in this life and all this. And it turns out he was just a degenerate gambler. And he was like...
Go figure.
Yeah. And he was like asking her to wire her money to wire him money all the time, and would just like psychologically just break this poor woman down. And,
wow.
And it was,
fucked.
And again, I'm fast forwarding the story because it wasn't just like, hey, this is the pitch day one. It was this slow indoctrination to this bullshit, and ended up this Anthony Shane Fox, whatever the fuck you want to call him, ended up like kind of just working his way into the restaurant. Ended up like taking the payroll from the employees. And then, flew her out to Rome on her own dollar. And then was like, the family's watching you, this and that and the third. We need you to behave. And then you're going to come back and this and that and the third. And he had pretty much usurped the restaurant and gotten all the employees' files and shit like that.
Oh, shit.
So this guy was just conning everyone all the time. And everyone at the restaurant that they interviewed in this documentary was like, nobody trusted this guy from the word jump. But...
Right.
We all just kind of tolerated him because we're like, okay, like maybe he has money, maybe he doesn't. I don't know what's up with this dude. And
like he kept the game just in the air enough to where you could never really sort of decide where it was going to land.
Yeah, and so he was slowly just like hitting her up for money and then be like, I need you to go out and get money from more investors for me. And then every time she would start to be like, what about the payroll? What about this? And she's like, this guy, Anthony, would sit there and be like, oh, you're worried about money now? I told you in the end, you're worried about it now. This is the test. This is the test. And would just, so ended up hitting her up for like $1.7 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah. She ends up getting, the restaurant closed down because the employees walked out and were like, you don't fucking pay us. She gets told by this Anthony guy, like, you need to get these investors. Yeah, you need to get these investors to give you more money. She ends up raising like $837,000 in like record time. Pays her employees back all the wages. They reopen the restaurant. And when it comes down, they start making money again. And when it comes to giving the investors some of their money back, Shane ends up taking the money with her, and they just go on the lam.
Holy fuck, dude.
And it's crazy. They ended up catching him in Tennessee because she ordered a pizza for his... And he got fatter and fatter and fatter this whole time. He was talking about how this was a test, too, from the family, and that he gets to shed his mortal husk at some point. And he was just being a fat fuck eating Domino's.
I have to shed my mortal husk.
Yeah.
You have to bring me another pizza.
Yeah.
Make sure it's with the stuffed crust.
With the stuffed crust.
With extra pepperonis and hams. No olives. God forbid you bring me olives. The family will be very, very mad at you.
Yeah.
I need no olives.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you. This sounds like a really cool guy. It sounds like he has stuff all figured out.
Slick stuff, neat stuff, cool stuff. No, but
This dude might be my hero.
And he had also swindled. They were interviewing this Russian dude, and because he kind of kept everyone in the dark about everything. So really, it was just him trying to live a lifestyle that he thought he deserved.
I mean,
whatever. He's a
me
con
too.
artist,
Me
yeah.
too, bro.
So he had
I'm
talked.
trying to live like a rock star on a welfare budget.
Yeah, balling on a budget, big dog. But no, and so he had talked to this Russian guy, and he had told him like, hey, well, if you give me like, $100,000, you can invest in the restaurant with Sarma, and you can be a part-time owner, and this and that and the third. Guy's like, dude, I kind of want to get out of whatever it is I'm doing. They didn't really explain, but I'd love to go into the restaurant business, and so gives him $100,000. That money's never seen again. Like,
right.
This dude overall ended up like between dodging taxes and this and that and the third, getting like away with like $6 million in some change, and has nothing to show for it.
Shit.
Like, was just a degenerate gambler. Was steady, like staying at, and he was well known at the tables because he would get money.
Oh, yeah. You show up with $500,000 at the poker
And he'd
table,
spend
they
it
tend
on
to
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they tend to comp you for
He
stuff.
has nothing to show for it though. And like this poor Sarma girl, like when the Russian dude figured out, he's like, wait, this is on her dime. Like, they kind of became friends and started to get kind of to the bottom of it of like, what the fuck is going on here?
Wow.
So again, I say all that in the same way of like the cult stuff is that like maybe she looked at this thing when she bought her first cook out of that restaurant and like had this $2 million of like that she bought the original guy who owned the restaurant with her out with. Maybe she saw this Shane Fox guy as like, hey, maybe this could be my way out of this too. And so did he just beat her to the punch or what? And like before she knew it, she was fucked though, man. It's just fascinating that these crimes and like these cult things like that, because again, the people's want for love and like
recognition
to belonging and all
yeah,
this and like what I'll do for my future and what I do for this beloved dog.
Well, if I just
who's my little man and
if
everything.
I just drop $5,000 now, I could make $5 million by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't take a whole lot of convincing to get to that point, you know? Like you get somebody with, you know, the silver tongue and like a slick sail. Yeah, I could totally see, you know. Hopefully, I'd like to think that I'm smart enough not to fall for that, but maybe.
I mean,
I've definitely fallen for way dumber shit in my life. You know?
Yeah, I've been taken for many rides in my life.
Oh yeah.
Partners, I've lied to myself about some really dumb shit too.
Sure.
It's really real.
But again, there's it's the defamation of the American dream. Like, oh, if I just put this much into it, I'm gonna get so much more out of it.
Yeah, and again, I gave you the abridged version. It was just this like, but this slow just wind into absolute madness, and then they go on the lam at the very end, and she ends up doing some time in prison, and he did like a year. He only did like a year and some change because nobody would pay his bail, and by the time court came, it was just like, all right, well, time served.
That's fucked.
And he got probation and shit, and she did too. But this poor woman was like fucked, man, and like. It was tough though, but it's just so interesting to watch how people get taken for stuff because of their desires, and they're like, and before you know it, you're so in over your head, and it's this slowly, when you hear a lie, and that lie sounds so ridiculous, but then you get so used to hearing how ridiculous it is, because they up the ante, so the next lie you hear is so big that you forget how ridiculous the first one was in the first place. And you're like, oh, well, this is the new standard of bullshit, hang on. And so it's this slow decline of just bullshit and bullshit and bullshit.
Well, if she bought into this, then she'll definitely buy into that. And if she bought into that, then I can tell her XYZ. And once I tell her XYZ, I can tell her anything, right?
It's like, do you believe there's an elephant behind you? Well, of course not. And you hear it enough, you're like, well, maybe there is an elephant behind you.
No, you get.
And then you go, but you make them believe that there's an elephant behind you. Not only is there an elephant behind you, but there's a pink elephant behind you. And you're like, okay, well, the elephant maybe, but not the pink part.
Sure.
And then there's like, well, now there's a pink elephant with wings, and you're like, okay, maybe it's a pink elephant.
And not only is there a pink elephant with wings behind you, but if you give me $100 right now, I can make sure that elephant doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
And then you're going like, well, I guess there's a pink elephant behind me,
right.
So maybe 100. I mean, it's only $100, right? Like that's worth it to make sure I'm not going to get bugged by a pink elephant with wings. Sure.
No, this dude was yelling at her about like, if I ask you for a wire for $100,000 tomorrow, are you gonna send it? Are you gonna send it? She ended up sending it.
I mean,
it's crazy, bro.
Sounds like a really cool dude in my book.
And he would give her like a little bit back. He'd be like, here's $10K, here's this, here's that.
Oh, of course.
Little bit.
Because if you're getting 100,000 or 90,000 or whatever it is, yeah, here's $5,000, here's $3,000, here's $7,000, here's $500 to go shopping for the day, whatever. Like whatever. Yeah, of course.
Ended up hitting her mom up too, because he was like, well, Sarma's in a really bad place and she's too proud to ask you for the money. So just send it to me, and I'll make sure that she gets it to her. So because she's too proud to ask, and then ended up hitting the mom up for like $160,000 or whatever it was.
Dude,
like
that is some pimp shit, and I don't mean that in the good way. I mean like in a literal pimp sense, like
ruin people's lives.
Yeah. That is. Anywho's.
So I've been on that kick for a while. I'm off it. I got this itch to scratch, but again, I'm fascinated by stuff like that and just good cons.
All right. You want to take a real quick break and hear from our sponsors?
Yeah, who's our sponsor?
I'm going to go with Water.
Water.
I'm
with you.
And thank you for our sponsor, Water. Covers like 70% of the earth. Mad respect.
Water. Everyone seems to know the recipe. No one can seem to fucking make it. Anyways, good
it's
sponsor.
like grits.
Yeah, exactly. So, Michael, I bring all this up. I got to be real with you about something. And I'm not going to turn the podcast into this because you'll hate me.
Be real, son.
Be really real, son?
Be real, son.
I tried to kill my father. So, for those who don't know, I am a giant sports fan. And football season is ramping up. And I'm not, because I know some people are going to turn the shit off right now. Ugh. But man, I'm so excited. And my Sundays are going to be consumed, and my Saturdays. I'm a giant college football fan. Go Florida State. I'm a giant NFL fan. I love love the Eagles. Been a big fan my whole life since Randall Cunningham, even though I'm from Tallahassee. So Michael, it's weird, man. I'm one of the few crossovers though, man. Like I'm a geek in a lot of sense, like by the traditional ways of I like Dungeons and Dragons and comic books and movies and
Sure.
and, wizards and wardrobes and whatever else you want to call it. But I'm also a sports buff. Which my question to you is why does sports and a lot of other things get not called a geek or a nerd when it's exactly what it is? Like I've made the argument a few times that like if you get 15 car magazines, they call you a gearhead, but like you're a fucking dork.
Sure.
You know, if you get a bunch of gun nut magazines, you get 15 of those a month and you're cutting out the pictures in this, like you're a fucking dork. Please calm down and no need for all that, but for other reasons, for safety reasons, but like you're a dork, man. Like you're an enthusiast with other things.
Right,
You're like, I'm a sports head, but like you're a fucking dork. Like if you play fantasy football, you're a fucking dork, dude. And I play fantasy football.
It is there's a weird, like on the Venn diagram of sports fanatics and fantasy fans. The Venn diagram overlaps at D&D and fantasy football because all it is just keeping track of stats.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what your geek is. But like it's the thinnest of overlaps, but it's there,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think a lot of that has to do with there's always been the dichotomy or the separation between like the geeks and the jocks, or the sportos and the nerds.
Right.
And I think we're starting to see a little bit more overlap with that in terms of the things that nerds all thought were so important and drove their lives are now becoming the pop culture. And so just by the very nature of its existence, they can't help but involve everyone.
Right.
And so I think a lot of it has been choreographed or predetermined or set up just in terms of, well, you have the nerds and the jocks. But I think that as true as that may have been one time, it's not necessarily what holds true today.
Well, I mean, the geeks definitely won the war. In the fact of all of the major profitable things are all geek culture. Like
sure.
It's permeated through the highest fabrics of society. Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Kevin Feige is the most financially successful producer of all time. Yeah. Like, just look it up. There's your numbers. Like,
right.
We've won. Like, all the shit. Like, video games are mainstream now. Video games, when I was in high school, used to be about a $6 billion a year industry. It's significantly grown. Not only in the sense of, like, that's just not video game sales, but when they talk about the industry, meaning, like, podcasts based on video games, Twitch stream revenues, stuff like that is all based on video games.
Movies based on video games.
Yeah, it's the
IP, as they say.
Video game. It's a way more than $6 billion. In high school, it was about 6.6, and that was like video game sales, controller sales, the magazines, stuff like that. Now, just with the internet, Twitch streams, it's
sure. And now you start
like it's crazy how much.
Now you start integrating like the esports leagues, where they're just every year they're gaining more and more revenue and more popularity in terms of like their viewability and people who subscribe to the channel or tune into the Twitch events, at a premium event,
Like everyone knows what Evo 37 is now. It's
right.
the Daigo Perry or whatever, and it's like that was niche back in the day. It was like nobody knew what that shit was. Nobody knew what a parry was in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Like now it's like there's tens of millions of views on that. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But no, I say all that. It's just funny because like I'm a diehard sports fan. I love it, and I've always kind of accepted that that's what it is too. Like people be like, I don't do Dungeons and Dragons and all that cosplay and stuff. But then every Sunday they put on face paint.
Right, right.
And a Viking helmet and a jersey that has somebody else's name on the back.
Right. Or they paint their face green and put on a giant cheese wedge hat.
Yeah, you go to a stadium filled with other fucking dorks. It's
right,
it's the same shit, my dude.
The Florida State guys, the garnet and gold boys who paint their body in like garnet and gold glitter and wear like Speedos or whatever have you. Whatever your local sports enthusiast,
it's the same shit, dude.
It's no different than dressing up like Cyclops or Rogue,
same shit, my guy,
or metal, Solid Snake or whatever,
Yeah, and I just love it in the sense of like I'm one of the. Our buddy Glenn is the same way. Glenn's a huge sports nut, and he's a member of that we play D&D with. Shout out to the homie.
Shout out to Glenn.
But he'll talk like Detroit sports. I'm like, what the fuck? He'll start talking about the Detroit Pistons, like 1989 team and stuff. I'm like, I love this shit, man. It's weird that it's an overlap that some people can recognize and some people can't. But I say all that to one, if you're out there and you're an enthusiast about something, put that shit on the table. Embrace your inner geek.
Of course.
It's all love, man. It's all love.
It may not be my particular flavor of Kool-Aid, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a good flavor of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a genre movie.
I'm not a huge sports ball fanatic. I know just enough to sort of make basic conversations and keep up in a social setting, but I ultimately don't give a fuck. But if you talk to me about pro wrestling or the latest run of Fantastic Four, like you catch me on whatever, I'm gonna talk your ear off and we can talk for hours about it with no concern about
yeah. No, it's just crazy, man. So let your geek flag fly.
I agree in all forms, whatever it is, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, like. If your freak flag is like, I really want to wear people's heads as hats and like, I have a necklace of clitorises that I keep, like, probably don't let that one fly. Just, maybe I would seek therapy.
Yeah, therapy first.
See how it shades out.
Yeah. Play that one by ear a little bit. Maybe circle back to that after heavy medication and some...
Unless you're going to be really good at it, in which case... Then we get a documentary out of it in 10 years, in which case, go for it.
Full cycle, you'll be back on the podcast. Anyway.
You'll be back on the podcast.
Anyways. So, with
that was
all
a great joke. I love that.
I'm glad you appreciated it, my guy. I'm glad you appreciated it. So with all that being said, I don't want to make a whole segment out of this. When it comes to this crossover, this giant Venn diagram that we have, what are some of your favorite sports movies? Because there's a bunch of good ones. Like, I'm a diehard Eagles fan. Never seen Invincible. I get the gist. I know the actual story. Sure. Like, we're good. But I should probably watch it one day. But
basically, Marky Mark tries out for the Eagles and
I know the
barely
story.
Makes it. Yeah.
He becomes... I know the actual story of the actual guy. It's whatever. But I'm going to watch the movie maybe this week to hype myself up for it.
Let me think. Sports movie... Again, I have to think about this because it's not... usually the genre that I gravitate towards, so I got to think about this one. Give me one of yours, and then it'll like jumpstart my thinking process.
I think there's one that's the best of all time in my opinion, but I'll save that one. I think The Replacements with Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman is a really good sports movie.
Okay, yeah.
The Waterboy's pretty high up there too. It's a good sports movie. I mean, in the sense of it's all about a kid playing football who's not supposed to be playing football.
Sure.
It's a good sports
playing
movie.
That foosball.
Yeah, I think The Replacements is a good one. But we started getting the classics. I think The Mighty Ducks is a fucking great sports movie.
Knuckle puck time.
Is an underrated performance of the week.
Oh, Kenan Thompson?
Yeah, we gave one out earlier, but we can give out a second one.
Yeah, he totally... I mean, he's the longest reigning SNL cast member. Yeah, like that's totally worth something. And he did Good Burger and
he was the kid.
All that.
Yeah.
I mean, like this dude has.
Yes, he was the knuckle puck kid, by the way.
But yeah, he was
Mighty Ducks. It's knuckle puck time. They disguised him as the goalie to get him the ball, the puck, and he knuckle pucked it.
God damn it, you're right. I totally forgot about that scene. You're right.
Yeah, no, that movie fucking rules, bro.
Wow.
It's a great sports movie.
Yeah, Kenan Thompson deserves
Underrated
performance of the week.
Statue,
yeah,
sir.
for sure. That's it.
Yeah.
Give him all the statues. Yeah.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks is a really good one.
I would cast him as Mace Windu.
Yeah. 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 I see what you did. Anyways, but yeah, those are a couple ones that I like. I think those are good ones. Just to expand on the Mighty Ducks.
Of course, we have to talk about Rocky.
Yeah, he's the greatest. I mean, as a Philadelphia fan, gotta talk about some Rocky.
Although not as good as Rocky 3.
Go ahead. Michael, you've been scratching to talk about Rocky 3 for some time now. You have 3 minutes. You just go right ahead.
I just want to say that I do not respect Rocky Balboa as a champion because Rocky Balboa has not faced me for the championship. No, I do not respect Rocky Balboa as a champion. Hey, woman, come get with a real man, woman.
So you got about 2 more minutes to talk about
And
why
then-
you actually like the movie, or you just want to do quotes. Because either way, I'm cool. I just want you to know that this is your platform.
I mean, to me, Rocky Balboa versus Clubber Lang is the perfect clash because once we left Rocky Balboa, he had been coasting on all these really easy wins, and yes, he was the champion, but none of them were really a challenge. And then here comes this underdog, underground fighter who has scrapped and bitten for every ounce of respect he's ever earned, and just completely fucks up Rocky Balboa's world. I mean, turns it upside down, inside out. Played by Mr. T, who, by the way, usually plays the hero in the A-Team and anything else, but is a consummate villain in this. I mean, you hate him. You can't wait to see Rocky Balboa beat his ass. And then what happens? Clubber Lang breaks Rocky Balboa in half. Bane versus Batman style. Just completely annihilates him. And then not only that, it's so traumatizing, it kills Mick. Like, it killed Burgess Meredith. He was so distraught from this match, he had a heart attack and died. Or a stroke and died, whatever. Doesn't matter. Point is...
he's like, Rock, I know you're gonna go broke. I can't go out there and spend you any more of your money there, Rock. God bless Mickey.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I gave you the platform. I know
I'm
you
just
want
saying.
to talk about.
I'm just saying.
The Rocky franchise is an incredible sports franchise, like unquestionably.
Yeah.
Like it's. Yeah. I keep going back to Disney movies. I'm like, Cool Runnings is a good one too, which is it is a
Also,
it is a
yes,
movie.
Cool Runnings.
But like all that shit.
Sanka, you dead?
Yeah.
No, man.
Oh man.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
There you go.
Get ready to go. It's bobsled time. Cool Runnings.
Yeah, it's just. It incorporates the spirit of competition. Like, Mighty Ducks is very much so Bad News Bears, and I'm sure Bad News
Yes.
Bears, some people would say, is a better movie. And it's more of the original, but Mighty Ducks was just reframed for my generation.
Sure.
Same kind of thing. Misfit people coming together, common cause, and it's you overcome adversity, and there's personal stakes, and you're fighting for something as a team, and it really incorporates like the team spirit. Where Rocky is like personal, whatever drama and setbacks, it's like kind of like how the Flash solves all of his problems by running really fast.
Right. You just gotta punch harder, Rock.
Yeah, you just got to punch harder, Rock, and the whole
Just
speech
stand
about,
up.
It's not about how hard you get hit; it's about how whatever.
But there is something to be said for in terms of it's a man who comes from nothing and just by sheer tenacity and force of will makes his fortune. So it's almost sort of the American dream. Yeah.
You ever seen Creed,
I did see Creed.
bro?
I don't know that it's better than the original Rocky.
Then you ain't seen no Creed, then? 'Cause you
No.
lying to me right
but
now.
it's at least comparable. It's almost sort of the revamped, revitalized story of Rocky. So it's at least as good. I don't know that it's better, just because I think it depends too much on the tropes that was set forth by the original movie.
I get it. I think it's one of the most comparable reboots, revamps, whatever you want to call
Sure.
it, sequelize, whatever you. I think it's one of the best that they've ever done. It captures the spirit of the first,
100%.
engages you in a story,
Right.
continues it, like brings you back there.
Plays a little too hard on the nostalgia factor,
But that's cool because as somebody who didn't like, I appreciate Rocky. Like I've seen the movies and stuff. But 5 I don't even remember. Like, and Rocky Balboa with Milo, whatever, I never could finish that. It was on one time when I was donating plasma, and I was like, this is some dog shit. It's like, but yeah, but I don't know. I fuck with Creed really heavy. It's one of my favorites, but again, I have to give respect to the Rocky franchise for it because again, it hits so many of those beats. But I fuck with Creed real heavy.
Sure.
Like,
Sure. And plus, Michael B.
movie.
Jordan is just awesome in everything. So
Yeah. You had written down Shaolin Soccer, or I wrote down Shaolin Soccer.
that's another great sports movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just again, it's the Stephen Chow comedic value of it all, but it's kung fu with
He's
soccer. You know, just it's everything you want to see in a kung fu movie. It's very reminiscent of the Shaw brothers in terms of just
He's heavily into it.
just overly dramatic karate moves and but it's also
Everyone has a style where
Yes,
it's like the 8 diagram pole fighter fights a certain way and like
right. I have my Phoenix style. I have my Tiger
yeah.
style of kicking. I have my Dragon style of soccer or whatever it is. And
it's like 5 deadly venoms of soccer, pretty much.
Right. But it's also this very beautiful blend of comedy in the very much vaudeville, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin style of like he's not afraid to slip on a banana peel or
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael throws around vaudeville a lot. I think it actually is spot on with this analogy.
Sure.
Yeah. We got to learn new comedic beats and tropes. It's vaudeville, it's Looney Tunes.
I mean, we watch the same things
Yeah,
over
we
and
do.
over
That
and
is
over
true.
again. So
It does appeal to us. So,
So another one of mine would probably be The Wrestler, and I know that it's not technically a sports.
I thought you were going to say Surf Ninjas. Which is
also a great.
Which 3 Ninjas is far better. But anyways, I digress. The Wrestler.
Yeah, The Wrestler.
Darren Aronofsky or whatever?
Yeah. With Mickey Rourke and a bunch of really classic wrestler cameos. I won't even get into it, but like
What's her name? She plays Aunt May now. Isn't she in that movie? Marissa Tomei.
She's
incredible in that fucking movie.
and she plays a gorgeous stripper, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, she's incredible in that movie.
Yeah, for 50-something years old, she is looking tight.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I know it's not quote unquote a sports movie, but it is very much in the Rocky aesthetic in terms of someone who was into a sport or into physical activity now trying to make good, and quite frankly it's just brilliant and beautiful and really kind of overly melodramatic, but that's kind of the whole point of wrestling anyway. So like it beautifully melds the violence and over dramaticism of wrestling with sort of the emotional current of his own life in this really hauntingly beautiful way. Anyway, it's worth a mention, and if you haven't seen it, even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's just really, really well done, and Mickey Rourke gives probably
Performance of a lifetime.
I mean, he got nominated for an Oscar if I
I think so, yeah.
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 And
he did.
Marissa Tomei is great, and just really, really good. Just even if you're not a wrestling fan, but in terms of sports movies, it's worth mentioning, and I think it's at least honorable mention.
It's really good in the sense of it paints the picture of how many of these classic people are like, oh man, whatever happened to the Iron Sheik? And I'm not using him as somebody that fell into this category necessarily, only because I don't know. But like so many of these wrestlers that you were like, oh, they were iconic in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Like they got done dirty, and they retired broke with no insurance, their bodies broken, busted. Like they're trying to go sign autographs and stuff, and like it's not selling like it used to, and it's tough, man. And so like a lot of these guys are just retired, forgotten.
You could almost replace wrestling with like pro football or boxer or whatever, and like it still would tell the same story in terms of like someone who was at the height of their career and now is sort of dealing with the tail end of that and the ramifications of what happens when you were so high and now you're brought low, you know?
Yeah, that's a good pull though.
So, anyway, like I said, it's worth mentioning. It's one of my favorites.
No, I would think, in my opinion, just to push it to wrap it up here, I think the best sports movie, and this is, please send us an email at www.whatchabeenwatchingpodcast.com
At
gmail.com.
At gmail.com, yes.
At whatchabeenwatchingpodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can search for us at Dudley Bros Podcast on Facebook,
yes.
Or just look for What You've Been Watching on Facebook.
Yes.
Continue.
Again, no, so please let us know what your thoughts on the top movie, sports movie are. For me, it's The Sandlot. The Sandlot is a fucking incredible movie.
Sure.
And as an adult, every time I go back and watch it, it has never once lost its charm, its luster. It just adds to it, man. It's the best parts of like, and I know Michael, I think, was just about to say this. We had talked about it a little bit, but like, it's Stand By Me, and it's the Bad News Bears, and it's Field of Dreams, and it's all of that just rolled into one glorious like family. It's not even a kids movie. It's like a family friendly package.
Sure.
And it's just it just incorporates like the spirit of what I want in a sports movie. It's the teamwork aspect.
Right.
It's the like, hey, we're also we're going to play better on the field because they show all these behind-the-scene antics of like, oh, we're going to build a Lego erector set to try to get our baseball bat.
Sure,
like, we're going to spend the night in the treehouse.
Or going to the pool, or you know, the whole epic with Wendy Pfeffercorn and stuff like that. Yeah.
And like, we're going to build this team camaraderie in ways that we don't even recognize we're doing it to achieve this greater goal. Yeah. And like, they play one other team the entire time.
Yeah, right.
And they're like, because they say, you play... What does it say? You hit like a girl, or you throw like a girl.
Right, you hit like a girl.
And they play ball over that, man. And those are fighting
you
words.
You sniff butts.
Yeah, you play ball like a girl, and those are fighting words. And that's the only other team we see them play the entire time. But it simply just incorporates for love of the game.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. And to me, that just like makes it the best sports movie of all time. But
it's also much. If it was just about them playing baseball, it would be one thing, but it's also a coming of age tale, and again, sort of recognizing where it's told from the perspective of the new kid in town who knows nothing about baseball, and so all he wants to do is just fit in. And so all the local kids are into playing baseball, and so he does research and is bugging his stepdad, who was played by Dennis Leary.
He's great in that movie too.
Pretty good role in that.
But it's so fucking quotable too, man.
It is. Like, you're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls. It stood the test of time.
Forever.
They get the shoes that can make a man run faster, jump higher.
That's right.
The Beast. They tell the story of the Beast. This is incredible.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, James Earl. Yeah.
Now we're just randomly quoting highlights.
Yeah, I mean, but it's s'mores. How can I have some more if I've never had one? Yeah, it's such a good movie. And like Squints going to make out with Wendy Pfeffercorn and like
lotiony and oily and lotiony and oily. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think to me that is the best sports movie of all time.
Yeah.
But if not, even objectively, and I'm not opposed to hearing other people, which please email us at whatyoubeenwatchingpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right.
But please let us know, because I'm willing to take suggestions. Rocky, I could see being up there, stuff like that. But man,
I just thought of another one.
Fuck with me on some Sandlot, though. Come on now.
Rollerball.
The original?
Yeah, the old James Caan. Technically a sports movie.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's also about so much more, because it's about capitalism and sort of selling your soul for the corporations and what one man is willing to do to keep his integrity. Should I throw the last game in order to save myself, or keep the spirit of the sport pure, kind of thing? Yeah, that's another good one.
That's kind of The Longest Mile too. Or the longest yard, yeah.
But again, it's very...
Not the longest mile. I mix up the green mile. So I get going sometimes.
Dead man 4 yards.
Exactly. Dead man touchdown. Green turf. Green field. Green mile.
AstroTurf. Who knows? What are we talking about? Yeah.
Dudes shaped like linebackers. Who knows? Same shit.
The longest mile. Who knows?
Yeah. Rest in peace, Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah. But that's sort of... I think the best sports movies are not necessarily about the sports themselves, but about sort of the struggle to find oneself within that.
Yeah.
Again, like The Sandlot and Rocky and The Wrestler and all of this, like, yes, I do this thing, but is that what defines me? And is that the thing that I am only going to be known for? Or can I surpass just being the athlete kind of thing?
Right. Yeah. The one-trick pony, as it were.
Yes. Yeah.
I get it, man. So yeah, I just thought that would be a nice segue as we talk about some things that as I gear up for sports season, which I won't get a chance to talk about here on this podcast because people will be like, shut the fuck up. We know you're an Eagles fan. Go Birds. Whatever. Go Knowles. Okay, we know, Marcus. So, but I was just curious, man, because it's weird to do a good sports movie right because, like I said, the good ones have already set those tropes down so much. Like I fully admit, the Mighty Ducks is very much so the Bad News Bears.
Sure,
very much so.
Right.
But
The Wrestler is very much Rocky.
Yeah,
and so on and so forth.
But like when they're done well, it's like these tropes stand the test of times. Like the stereotypical sports movies, like it's so ingrained in the pantheon of like what we expect from a good sports movie that it's hard to veer too far from it. So they do kind of hold a special place in my heart, but again, they're very few and far between. It's like,
but when they work, it's this beautiful experience of the triumph of the human spirit.
Like Miracle on Ice is a fucking great movie.
Oh God!
But again, so is Field of Dreams. But
again, Miracle on Ice is just Cool Runnings, which is just...
No, they win.
Okay, fair enough. Sure, right.
They definitely
Spoiler alert. Jesus.
Yeah, for the Olympic hockey team.
Are we going to beat the Russians? Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
we
alert.
do.
We do.
In grand fashion.
Yeah. But yeah, again, it's like it's hard to veer too far from that.
But again, even when we beat the Russians again in what was it, 2010,
whatever it was,
or 2012 Winter Olympics, it was, people were calling it the Miracle on Ice 2. And I got to be honest, I watched most of those games, especially like the final game between Russia and America where it came down to a shootout. Oh my God, I can't wait until they do that movie. That's going to be great.
Miracle on Ice 2. Still miracling. Still
miracle. I want Steven Yeun to play Oshie.
Oh, yeah. Steven Yeun's...
Come on.
We'll talk about it next week. I saw Nope, and he's in that movie.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. But
Okay. So stick around for the next What You Been Watching, where we discuss Nope and
quick review. Nope. Yeah.
Quick review. Nope. Yeah.
All right, this happened at the bottle of Cavassier tells we're about out of time here.
That's
what
it.
You've been watching. Go see a movie
and talk about it with somebody you love.
Deuces.